possibly allows him to burn down some bushes, which may hide dungeons or other things of importance. Raikou taking
and the earlier...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, the earlier you find a candle in one of these seeds, the better, is because that's going to give you access to basically the remaining caves in the overworld that bombs can't access. So having access to potentially, white sword or anything else that you might need more hearts is always huge.
Oh, that's nasty there. We discovered that one of the things that can change as well the messages that appear in the caves, and it turns out the secret message that we'll be getting to the door repair caves is merely the word "ha." So it's very short. They won't have enough time to be able to use the trick that most speedrunners will use to avoid having to pay the toll there. So most likelihood they're going to be in trouble on that front. That being said, both runners just discovered shops that have the blue candle in them, so that's not really a big deal for Glib because he already has his candle. That's going to be more useful for Raikou when he finds some more money here very shortly. Glib's, of course, was actually under a burn bush, so he had to actually burn the bush in order to get that shop, so it's really a pointless thing for him. But he's continuing to explore Hyrule here, trying to find anything he can. The caves he's exploring by burning bushes, he knows won't have the wooden sword, but he's hoping to find anything else, possibly find where dungeons will be for later, possibly find heart containers or the magical sword, or the white sword maybe, so that way he can get himself another weapon. Those can be anywhere in any open cave. It's just the wood sword that's limited to caves that you could access without any weapon. Glib is continuing to head up to the shops which normally have the heart container, normally have the arrows rather, and then he's going to try to check the Armos here. In addition to the the normal caves where you would normally find certain things, the Armoses have been shuffled, so you don't know which Armos has the staircase underneath it. And also, normally the Armos located in the graveyard area would have a power bracelet hidden under it. It may be under a different Armos here in Hyrule, so you have to explore to actually find where that item's going to be. So right now, our racers are still trying to get coverage, try to find very useful things. Glib has found the second of the heart containers located under a burn bush there northeast of Start. So now he has a 33% chance of being able to pick up the pick up the white sword if he finds the cave where the white sword is hidden. The white sword can have anywhere between 4 and 6 hearts as a cost. And he's actually getting a hint right now. Glib just got a warning that the old man has the white sword hidden somewhere on Death Mountain, so he now knows where he would have to explore in order to find the white sword. The problem with that is the fact that the caves up on Death Mountain require bombs, and he has no bombs right now, so there's really no way for him to effectively be able to explore Death Mountain for the white sword. Glib has found the first level of the game here. It looks like, from what I'm seeing here, it's level 5. This is what I'll temporarily mark that down as. I believe the level was, I think, located 2 north of where the normal heart container was, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong here in a minute, or he's probably about to exit the level. He was without a weapon. It's kind of hard to explore. Yes, he had 2 north of the normal coast heart container, where you'd bomb it. The heart container, of course, that nowadays is normally not found. %. And Raikou now has a candle as well. He just discovered the same heart container that Glib found a little while earlier, and so now Raikou has 5 hearts to Glib's 4, because he was able to purchase the candle as opposed to buying it with the heart container. So now Raikou is attempting to pick up some bombs. Unfortunate death there, but you want to try to kill a lot of the blue enemies on the overworld, because blue moblins and blue octoroks will yield bombs, allowing you to be able to then go and kill, open up other openings here on the overworld. So let's see, we've seen level 5 so far. Again, we're in the early phase. We're doing a lot of each of these racers are doing a lot of exploration. Glib just found the cave which has the blue ring in it, so he, depending on the value of the high secret in this seed, he may be really interested to come back there later to pick that up to buy some extra defense. And he's also going to be noting the fact that he has an arrow shop, and he actually picks up the arrows now, which is a pretty good strategy. Okay, and Raikou has entered level 7, it looks like. I missed where exactly the entrance was, but he is now on level 7 doing some exploring. It's a really dangerous level to find early going. It has 33 rooms in it, and is therefore extremely difficult to explore, and he doesn't really have a lot of ammo to be able to really do a full exploration. He doesn't have the ladder yet, which would allow him to cross the river that you're seeing. He doesn't have the bow, so he can't shoot the Goma that we were seeing up above. So he's pretty much at this point going to take a quick exit. Okay, so that was southeast of normal level 4. So we've already got a couple of the levels now starting to be found. Raikou now finding the any roads. Normally in the overworld where those 4 push blocks are, end up being the 4 take any road you want, which allow you to basically warp around Hyrule. Raikou is now going through and exploring those systematically, so that way he'll be able to later on potentially be able to use those to his advantage in terms of exploring Hyrule. We believe that the dungeon he stepped into, southeast level 4, we appear to be level 7, based on the rooms that we saw up to this point. Glib, on the other hand, is heading now along the south coast of Hyrule there. He will be finding, assuming he survives the next couple of screens, the coast shop and discovering the item contained therein. Oh, no, he won't because of the Lionels. That was a painful screen. He's probably going to have to try and make his way over there through a different path, I think, in order to really be able to get through, because the Lionels on that corner screen down there are really nasty. And where they shoot 2 hearts damage, and he's only got 3 to start right now, that's not a very easy screen for him to traverse. Meanwhile, RaikouRider is continuing his exploration of Candle Row, which is just an area along the lake which has a lot of burn bushes typically, so now that he has the candle, it's good for him to get them all out of the way one after the other. Picks up another secret here. Ideally, the racers are, now that Raikou has found the sword, he's ideally going to be starting to try to find some of the earlier levels, hopefully, or levels involved where the enemies are Goriyas, maybe Dark Nuts, depending on how comfortable he is. And so he's going to try to be identifying those levels as quickly as he can, being able to go through them to try to find key items. Smaller levels are typically easier to traverse. Of course, in Randomizer, that is not always the case, especially with regards to who you might run into. The joke is on that old man who was living under the bush. Glib didn't really have any money, so he doesn't lose any money to the door repairs. And we have Raikou just found another level, which of course, once again, I happen to look at the exact wrong instant. I believe probably going to be northeast of 1 as Glib picks up the wooden sword, but I can't guarantee it. Wherever that level was, it's definitely level 6. Glib finding out that the raft is the item on the coast. I think Raikou saw that earlier and we just got distracted by it, but Glib now knows that if he needs the raft, he'll just simply need to get the ladder in order to explore those last couple of spots. There's only 2 spots on the overworld that are inaccessible by raft, but it can turn out to be very important to you to find those 2 levels, because a level could be hidden on one of those spots. That's fortuitous for RaikouRider. RaikouRider takes the stairs here in 6. He now knows, because of the fact that he came out in a 2-block room, that all he has to do is kill. He's looking for a room that has an open staircase on the right-hand side. That will be the item room. Probably going to be a little bit difficult for him to find, because level 6 is still a pretty big level, all things considered, and the enemy set isn't great in here. He's got the Dark Nut set, so it all depends on how well he can fight against those enemies. Raikou knows that he doesn't need to bomb any of the walls in the room that he was in, because of the fact that he was in, he knows the shape of level 6. The level shapes themselves are not changed. It just changes who you're going to, or it just changes where the rooms are located, what doors and walls are present. Okay, and Raikou is deciding that enough is enough. He is in fact northeast of level 1, that's where level 6 is located. Or northeast of Vanilla 1, rather. And now he's going to continue to explore here. Glib, meanwhile, died on one of the Armos screens, located... Oh, and now takes a hit from the Lionels. And Raikou's finding yet another level here in directly north of where level 1 is located. And this would appear to be, based on the rooms we're seeing so far, level 2. And he claims the first Triforce from level 2, so Raikou is taking an early lead in terms of Triforce quantity here. What you'll find when you're watching Randomizer races is that the number of Triforces being found early does not necessarily indicate how easy or difficult the race ends up being. The race will be getting could potentially be getting harder. And oh boy, that is a Wizrobe set in level 2 there. So what would normally be a level that you would spend the time walking around in trying to find the items in, we may not see Raikou make much of an exploration here. He might just check a couple of rooms and get out of dodge due to the difficulty of the enemies here. We'll see what he decides to do here. Meanwhile, on the other side of the woods, literally, Glib is traversing through the Lost Woods to try to head up towards the Grave area. Some runners will take the opportunity to screen scroll, but it depends on your comfort of the screen scroll, and it's not a very easy screen scroll to be able to do, and if you fail, you run into issues. But Raikou discovers the recorder as the floor item in level 2, so he is actually in really good shape here. He really doesn't need to explore level 2 anymore. He might want to come back for some keys later, but he's fighting against Wizrobes. It's a really tough argument to try to go through there for keys, so I would say he's probably done with level 2. And he has the recorder, allowing him to potentially be able to warp to other dungeons and possibly quickly pick up, possibly be able to get into level 7. Glib, on the other hand, has now discovered a different level located here. The normal graveyard, awesome. With this room set, this is going to be level... Alright, I'm just trying to figure out, based on what we've seen up to this point, it's not level 2. I believe 3 or 4 have fireball rooms. All the rooms are the same in these dungeons that would normally be there. I'm leaning towards level 8, actually. Actually, yes, almost certainly this is level 8 that he's in right now. So level 8 is located at the graveyard. So for him, the nice thing here is that there are 2 items in level 8, so this is certainly something that he'll consider wanting to try to explore if it allows, although his progress is going to be impeded by the Gleeok sitting there, which will have to die in order to make, most likelihood, to make any progress into the dungeon. That is going to be a nasty fight to be able to do on 3 swords with or 3 hearts with a wooden sword, and Glib has decided that he's either going to try to at least get a heart off of the friend there. No, he did not take anything off the Genie, so he is just going to continue to explore and come back here later. Probably a very wise decision, especially with a Gleeok block in the early going. In the northeast, Raikou is continuing to explore the caves up in the top area here. I believe we've already seen from Glib that these are... Oh, that's a nasty room that Glib ended up dying into the blue Lionels there. Blue Lionels do 2 damage no matter what. Pretty much whether you touch them, whether the sword hits you, they're just completely nasty creatures and very hard to fight in the early going. And Raikou does not yet have the hint that the old man has a white sword on Death Mountain. I mean, he has low bomb count, but he certainly has sufficient hearts that he'd be guaranteed if he gets to the white sword, or if he has enough bombs and he explores Death Mountain, he's guaranteed he'll be able to find the white sword.
Hello there, Fred.
Good afternoon, evening, or good night.
I'm here to help you out just a little bit as Greenleaf's internet's being a little wonky. Keep describing and I'll chime in whenever I can.
Sounds absolutely good. For those who don't know, the dulcet tones that you're hearing filling in right now are Adirondack Rick stepping in as our to fill in. we are still experiencing the fun action here as Glib is exploring in further depth here, level 7. Once again, he is, as we saw earlier with Raikou, the level is either going to be or ladder blocked, so we don't know exactly how much exploring he's actually going to do. Meanwhile, Raikou is finding now where the White Sword location is. It'll be interesting to see what he does here with his strategy in the short term, because now he knows he can get a double upgrade to his sword if he goes up to Death Mountain, but at the same time it's going to cost him a lot of bombs potentially to get that upgrade. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays this. Glib discovering those any roads that we saw earlier, while Raikou is now heading down to bomb the coast. There are 3 caves along here. These are ones that you have to hit at some point during during your travels, but ends up being a long walk. Although he finds a very, very generous secret. The large secret apparently is 135 rupees, and now Raikou now has the maximum number of rupees that you can have in the game, 255 rupees, and has discovered a level 1 east of the normal blue heart container, a normal heart container, and it is level 1 based on the rooms that we're seeing so far. It's actually a very Dark Nut heavy set so far today, but level 1 is a very important set to find. It gives 2 hearts, 2 possible item drops, which when you're playing Randomizer, you need to, at the end of the game, at the minimum, have the bow and the silver arrows on the flag sets that we're working with. You probably need the ladder, and other items you may need may include things like the power bracelet. The red ring is always a nice convenient thing, as Raikou now picks up the Triforce in level 1, taking a slight here, but he's out of keys, so he actually can't explore level 1 at all. But he does have the recorder, so he can potentially come back here later on once he's cleared out, once he has, keys, and then he can continue on. And so yes, Raikou realizing he can't continue any further in level 1 right now, so he unfortunately has to leave again. There'll be 2 items in level 1. One will be laying on the floor in a room. You may have to kill some enemies to get it, but it'll just be laying out on the floor. The other item would potentially be located in a staircase. And it looks like, oh, lovely. Glib has found level 3, and it would appear it's located at the normal power bracelet slot, and it looks like the level is Dig Dogger block, so he will actually require getting the recorder in order to be able to successfully clear this level. And the interesting thing is, we know Raikou has already found the recorder. The recorder is located in level 2. The question is whether or not, when Glib sees the easy Triforce laying on the floor, whether he will actually continue to explore level 2 with Wizrobes in order to be able to pick up the recorder, or whether that will come back later to possibly bite him. We've seen people make assumptions both ways in these tournaments, because you don't know what items are where. Certain things are bad. It can be really nasty. Raikou now has the second key as he's continuing to explore level 5 now. Looks like he's going to try to bomb through the level a little bit further, see if he can get any further into the level. He's probably going to need a ladder at some point here, so he's hoping to be able to find that and be able to find anything else here that would be useful.
Meanwhile, Aweglib just having a lot of trouble against Lynels in this seed.
Yeah, it's had some very nasty early spots with the Lynels in this seed so far, so it's going to be really... once they get rolling, these competitors won't have any issues, I think, with the Lynels. But in the early going, especially when you only have 4 hearts and don't have any of the special tunics, it can be a little bit difficult to find what you need to find. Raikou discovering taking the staircase. He has, unfortunately, the staircase turned out to basically be the staircase connecting 2 halves of level 5. Level 5 almost always is split in 2, just because of the nature of the level, having 3 old men and a very narrow neck on the left-hand side there. So he's going to try to explore what he can at the top half and come back later on. Level 5 also has a strong tendency to get ladder blocked in certain portions, so he's going to need to be able to explore the level. Wow, that's an interesting...
It's a troll staircase.
Well, he at least was able to fill his bombs back up, but yeah, it's a very interesting staircase.
Yeah, you don't usually see that in level 5.
Yeah, the blockade in level 5 almost always is that neck, essentially at, ET's neck, if you think it was like ET.
E.T. phone home.
And so now Raikou is going to continue to explore. We've already seen so far, actually, we've got pretty good coverage so far. We've already seen 7 of the levels. The only levels we're missing up to this point are levels 4 and 9, based on what I've been seeing up to this point in the... Yeah, one of the nice things about the randomizer, the way that the randomizer was developed, is it allows you to input a seed and the set of flags. So basically, what checkboxes you'd actually like to see, what options you want to have randomized in the race. So it's very, very customizable in terms of what you would like to see randomized. But by being able to input a fixed seed, it allows people to race. Races do occur actually very regularly on the Speedrun Live website. Certainly follow for those, and a lot of the racers like Raikou and Glib, who you see here, may sometimes participate in those on a regular basis. So very good idea to follow the runners as you're going through, watching all these events, and being able to see how things see how they play if you want to be able to see things.
And many of these runners, this is not going to be their final run through this. They're going to be continuing to play this long after their tournament experience.
We're going to continue to have more fun here. I think there's already been some discussions about potentially a second tournament somewhere down the line. So there's a lot of potential fun here that'll be coming up with this game. Oh, very nice. So we now know the location of the magical sword.
Absolutely.
It's in the location of the blue ring shop, not the blue ring, the candle shop that most speedrunners would buy if they're trying world record route. Usually that's where they'll buy their blue candle.
It is the candle shop in the Lost Hills.
Yep, and so the magical sword can actually, none of the runners right now can pick that up. It can take anywhere from 10 to 14 hearts potentially to pick it up. So Glib, for example, where he picked up the candle instead of a heart earlier, could potentially have a slightly harder time.
Meanwhile, Oz is now in level 2 and gets the early Triforce.
He's got the Triforce. He's in good shape on that front. As I said, we'll see whether he comes back in. He doesn't know the enemy set at this point. All he saw was 10 rupees laying on the ground as a boss. So I expect he'll re-enter the level, discover Wizrobes, and we'll see exactly what happens.
By the way, did RaikouRider pick up the blue ring?
No, Raikou... actually, yes, Raikou did. Yes, he had 255 rupees. So yes, it looks like Raikou has picked up a blue ring.
Considering
and yes,
how
level 9, as the chat, just to bring up something the chat has pointed out, level 9 was discovered. It was just one screen east of where we saw the magical sword, the bomb cave, east of the normal blue ring shop. So now the only level we're missing is level 4.
Thank you very much, guys. Your help is very much appreciated. And that blue ring purchase is really going to be very good for both runners, especially RaikouRider. You've seen a lot of deaths from both of these runners so far, and a lot of damage to, waterfall level.
Yeah. Oh, so okay. So the waterfalls where level 4 is. Basically, we've already had confirmation of everything else. So technically, the runners will not need to go to the Lost Hill, the Death Mountain area. They don't know this, but technically, they will not need to be able to go up to that area. Oh,
have we seen where the red ring is yet?
We have
not the red ring. The white sword.
White sword is. We have a hint that the white sword is located on Death Mountain, but we have not actually seen the white sword itself. Both runners are aware of the... Yeah, both runners got the hint that the white sword was located on Death Mountain, so we'll see if any of them actually make the play. Again, they don't know where all the levels are individually, so there's a chance that we'll be seeing issues there. And Raikou does have the silver arrows. I had missed that, but that must be the... I guess they both have the silver arrows. That was the item.
The silver arrow was the Armos item.
Which is amazingly convenient. For those of you who haven't seen randomizer races before, you do need the silver arrow and the bow to be able to kill Ganon. And if you have, again, you need to be able to have the silver arrow. And the silver arrow can be located in level 9. So runners can have a very difficult time finding that because there are a large number of staircases. There's 14 staircases naturally located in level 9.
Absolutely.
Only 2 of which have items.
Absolutely. And if the silver arrow is buried deep in 9, that takes a lot more equation into going into level 9. Finding it as in your almost item, all you needed to do is find the bow, and you've got yourself a pretty strong weapon.
Absolutely. And Glib, unfortunately, doesn't know what he has to do to get the item out of here, so he's actually exploring most of the level. He doesn't know that he just has to bomb left from where he found the Triforce in order to find the recorder in a fairly easy room. But again, no one knows this.
RaikouRider ladder blocked.
That's actually something you'll see very commonly in level 4. It doesn't hurt to explore level 4 because it's a small level, so just in case the item room happens to be before the ladder block.
He is going to search one more room, and that's the room to the right. And it's not going to be what he's looking for. It's not the double block room.
Turns out level 4, again, there's 3 rooms that have water in them that present obstacles, and very often one of the 3 will block. So we now know that the ladder will be required in order to beat the game. Glib, unfortunately, is leaving level 2 with the Triforce, but not the item, which will end up possibly coming back to hurt him long term. Again, he doesn't know that right now, but again, that's actually a very reasonable assumption. That's what I would probably be doing if I was playing myself. I probably would have at this point, aborted until I had much stronger weaponry to come back later.
Meanwhile, he is going to make his way over to level 4, and he's going to find the same lesson that RaikouRider found out a few minutes ago, but he's going to explore in the meantime.
Raikou, on the other hand, is now heading back towards level 1. As you guys saw earlier, he was able to obtain the Triforce from level 1, but there are 2 items hidden in level 1 that he was key blocked from early on, so he's going to come back here and check this out.
Now with 2 keys, he's going to at least do that. Meanwhile, Glib is going to head back into 4, do the key trick there to get that front door opened up.
It's a very useful trick. It's, again, you see it normally in Randomizer for any percent, but in any percent for normal Zelda, but basically when you enter a dungeon, the game thinks you're entering that room from the same direction that you entered the overworld screen that the dungeon was on. So entering and re-exiting, or sometimes even in Randomizer going and entering from the side of a room, ends up being more valuable trick to be able to conserve a key in the early going.
Especially when you only have 1 key and you don't want to use it on your front entrance.
Agreed. Yeah, key conservation is very important. Can be very hit or miss as to where the keys and what dungeons, how many keys you have going into level 9. If you have the magical key, you don't have to worry about things, but if you don't have the magical key, you potentially need a lot of doors. Level 9 has potentially 15, I want to say, rooms or doors that are key blocked. So you could potentially have a lot of keys that you'd have to use in level 9 if Zelda or Ganon is on a very narrow path to find either of them.
So you said we found the item in 1. It was the one that was underneath the staircase, correct?
No, we haven't found anything in level 1 yet. Level 1, when Raikou entered here earlier, he had no keys. The 3 rooms that he was able to access...
He did pick something up in that room, though, in the lake room there.
Lake room there was a key. We'll see when it pauses if it was... Was that the map? I don't know. He had the map earlier.
No, he already had the map going in.
Yeah, you're right. Well, let's see.
It looked like it was an item on the floor. He does pick up a heart container on the left wing.
Glib, on the other hand, discovering that he's now ladder blocked as well in 4, so he'll have to continue. He's had an unfortunate spate of luck here. He has really good, skills in being able to, now navigate things. He just hasn't taken the right turns and done a couple of things.
But Dave has a very interesting question. And that is whether or not the levels have the same amount of key doors. We'll get that in just a moment. Meanwhile.
Yes, actually, when the levels are shuffled, each level will have the same number of key doors, etc., that they normally would. So you'll always see level 1 have 6-ish key, or I don't remember the exact count in level 1, but whatever it normally is.
RaikouRider getting himself into the diamond staircase, doing it with a nice block clip, and he'll find the power bracelet. He doesn't know it's not required, but he's going to go ahead and take it away out of here.
It may turn out to be useful. I mean, again, he's seen one of the large secrets. He may want to buy a potion later. It may turn out maybe a fairy a letter may also be located under one of those. And he already knows where level 2 is, so the hint there was completely useless to him, but again, for those who haven't seen this before, you have the option to potentially have helpful hints appear in the levels. And when you have a helpful hint, it will give you information about where an area of the overworld where an item is or something is actually located.
When you're inside of a dungeon, it could tell you where the next dungeon is located. For example, in that case, you saw that Dodongo dwells near the river.
Yes, and because it's near the river, it turns out it's a nice, easy... we've already seen level 2, but there's only a couple of spots where the river is, so it's very quick to be able to get that.
And it's also the same similar hints that they get about the white sword being on Death Mountain, though that's one of 2 places where you don't want to see a hint of anywhere in the overworld, because that's got the most amount of open spots.
Completely agree.
Or possible spots, rather.
And almost all those spots require bombs to get, which is a much more resource-intensive search. Raikou's having a fight against a large number of blue dark nuts here. These blue dark nuts, with the fact that he has a blue ring, can cause 1 heart of damage to him anytime they touch him, so he has to be incredibly careful on how he fights them to try to be able to clear this room. The fact that he's trying to clear this room says to me he probably didn't pick up an item in that other room, because if he had picked up an item at this point, he's seen the art container here. He's got the Triforce from earlier.
He did get the Triforce. Okay.
Right, the Triforce is actually located 2 rooms left of where you start. Early on, he walked in, he picked up the map and the Triforce, and then had to leave the dungeon because he was key blocked. Raikou is in level 1 right now. And
Raikou, unfortunately, yep, he loses to the blue dark nuts. And the problem with that is, if you don't leave the room and come back in, you gotta start that room from square one.
Alright, let's see here. Silver Arrow, Blue Ring. He did not pick up a second item in that dungeon, based on what I saw in his inventory.
So it must have been a key, and I just didn't really see it because of the tile or something of regards like that.
That's okay. I mean, again, it's very tough for those to blend in. So, Glib finding, he's now exploring Death Mountain. He has 255 rupees now, so he is going to... Is he going to try to go back to a Blue Ring shop, I wonder, or if he's going to continue to try to explore?
It would probably do him the best if he did try to get to a Blue Ring shop.
Yes, although I know we've seen one in the northeast.
He's desperately trying to get across that river.
Yeah, he killed the Zola because of the fact that he was having issues with the Zola's fireball. So he wanted to be able to...
That's correct.
To clear that. Now he's trying to clip back across the river.
Mm-hmm. Having a lot of trouble doing so.
Well, screen scrolls are very tough to do. Again, for those who haven't seen Zelda in general, screen scrolls require pixel-perfect positioning. If you're doing the screen scroll the way he's going, he has 2 possible options. One that you can sword buffer for the timing, and one that you can't sword buffer. And if you're not sword buffering, it's a 1-frame button press that you have to do to turn around for a screen scroll. It's very difficult, even for some of the more advanced runners.
It's a very, very difficult trick to pick up, that is for certain. And it's not something that you're going to pick up right immediately. And the amount of time that he's using up, he could have just upped an 8 and went back to the start and made it over there just as fast. But once you're committed to doing it, you're going to try to do it as much as you possibly can.
Absolutely. I mean, it can be a useful trick. I think he's trying to make sure he checks out this open cave down here, just south, northwest of level of where level 1 normally would be, allowing him to the Any Road.
That was the Any Road. So he could have just easily gotten back there, though.
Right. Well, he was probably envisioning. Again, he knows where these are. He's probably envisioning taking that to the area of the map that's close to where the Blue Ring shop is.
I'm thinking either that, or he was going to try to go back to 4.
It's certainly possible.
But luckily, he'll end up at the power bracelet spot that's right next to the ferry, so he can refill his health.
Yeah. He's not going to go back to 4, though, because he knows he's ladder blocked and there's nothing left in that dungeon. He did a full clear, or at least as full clear as he could before that.
Did he get past Documentus, though? I didn't see that part. I was looking on Raikou's part.
No, he at least got to the Chevy room. So.
Okay. So now he definitely knows that he's ladder blocked. So.
Correct.
RaikouRider inside of a dungeon with a bunch of Gibdos and a locked door.
This is level 8.
By them.
This is level 8 that he is in. It's going to be fun what he's going to discover in the room to his right, that unless he wants to potentially blow a key for a 1-room shot, there is a Gleeok, a two-headed Gleeok waiting for him with a shutter door. So he will have to kill the two-headed Gleeok in order to advance.
Aweglib now, I believe he's what, back in 5?
Yep, he's back in level 5 here.
Ow.
Man, ouch, that hurts.
Ow! Takes out his frustrations on the hit me baby one more time, or hit me Goma one more time.
And at least he can explore the level a little bit here. We know already that the key door areas are the staircase is going to basically be a troll staircase, but he's probably going to enter into that staircase to check it because, again, with the way the level 5 normally ends up, you usually need to take the staircase, so he's going to explore that. As Raikou now rediscovers, I believe, level 3.
Yeah,
and he will actually be able to advance through this level. Glib got here earlier. Glib discovered that the level is actually Dig Dogger blocked. So bosses are coming out in force today.
They certainly are. Have we seen a Goma yet?
Oh, we have seen a Goma. We just don't know if I don't think he's been blocking yet. At least I'm pretty sure we saw a blue Goma.
Definitely is blocking and getting ladder.
That will swing the advantage considerably to Aweglib right now. And we've already seen level 4's ladder blocked. Glib hasn't really explored level 8, but there's at least a couple of rooms at level 8 where ladder may be potentially required. Again, even here in level 5 where he is, very possible he's going to run into some ladder block issues as well. Certainly possible in level 9.
And have we found where the Triforce is in 7?
We have not found the Triforce yet in 7. 7 does not. Again, 7 is a huge level, so it could easily be anywhere in there.
Any of the dungeons between 4 and 9 can easily be ladder blocked.
Correct.
Especially if you get stuck with one of those that, the Triforce is in the middle of the island, like it could be in 6.
Very nice play there by Raikou to kill all 3 of the mini Dig Doggers that spawn from him. It can be actually a very interesting play there because a lot of the... Go ahead.
I was going to say, that was a really good kill with a wood sword.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, you would see a lot of the, speedrunners. There is a trick that you can do there. If you kill one of the 3 Dig Dogger babies, you can actually but you can actually leave the room and come back in, and the game will treat it as if Dig Dogger has been completely killed. So that's a trick for any budding runner in the future.
That's correct. That also works on the Lamolas as well as the Moldurns.
Yes, if you kill one Moldorm or a Lamola completely, and then get one segment killed of the other one, it will completely get rid of that.
Ooh, very nice left to right late clip by Aweglib.
Glib has shown some really, we saw he had a couple of issues a little earlier with the clipping, but he has actually been showing that he's very, he certainly has this capability. It'd be fun to see him continuing to run Randomizer because clearly got a lot of talent here. He's shown it in a lot of other games here.
He goes the other direction.
Let's see what we've got here. Raikou knows, again, because rooms are not shuffled across dungeons, at least at the moment in Randomizer, the drops that are in a room, you'll know based on the room when you walk in whether or not or what the odds are of the drop being in that dungeon. So when Raikou saw the room with the double sets of 6 blocks with no item laying on the floor, he knew he actually didn't have to kill the room, whereas in this room of single set with 6 blocks, he knows there will be a drop.
That's correct, and knowing what rooms have drops is very, very key, as Aweglib does pick up the Triforce.
Glib we're now even, actually, on the Triforce count. They both have 2 of them right now.
Both competitors here showing off some nice tricks. Right now, RaikouRider trying to deal with the reverse C room in 3.
Yeah, and then he'll find an item in this room. Oh, it turns out to be the heart container.
It's a heart container. That puts him at 9 hearts. Now, one more heart container, he does have a small chance at grabbing the magical sword.
I don't envision most of these runners will... I actually expect all of them will make a play for it before they enter level 9, just because it happens to be located right next door to level 9. But you're going to see, again, none of them make that play until the very end. So we won't necessarily know, I think, until the very end how many hearts it's going to take.
Yep. unless they're in that general vicinity, like Aweglib is right now. But he's got 5 hearts, so there's no way he's going to go for it.
Yeah, no, he as soon as he sees that room, he'll just keep a mental note of it and going.
Now we finally find the item room in 3.
That's a tough room to find, so we were hoping to see that, and
elbow.
That's going to make this race potentially very quick once we get towards the end, because level 3 is a level that most people will explore all the way through. Level 3, again, only has 14. I'm apparently bad at counting. 6, 18. That's 18 rooms, so it's not many rooms you have to explore to be able to full clear to find the item, and it's one of the easier items. So you will definitely see the competitors clear 3 in their traversal.
Levels 1, 2, and 3 are the one that you're going to see a lot of people want to find or go search throughout the entire run, just because of the fact that the item is usually easy to get to, and especially in 3 because you don't have to kill anything to get into that staircase.
Agreed. Level 3, again, that you can just walk through the level. It's usually very easy to tell because normally in level 3, every single wall that, any 2 rooms that you see connected in level 3 normally are either bombable or you can go through them. The only exceptions are if the old man is in a room with a room to the north, you can't bomb into his room, and if the staircase there, as Raikou picks up the Triforce for level 3, if that staircase is not on a wall,
if the
then
room
you can't
that
bomb into
contains
it.
if that room that contains the staircase is on the left-hand side, you can't bomb into it. That's just the way the game works. That staircase, you can't bomb your way into and find yourself on top of that in that room.
Yeah, so certain rooms, as you're playing Randomizer, that you'll really come to realize are useful signs like that. And that level 3, that's one of the most common signs of when you're trying to find where the item is, that you can use that as a key trick. And so at this point, Raikou has a lead on the Triforce front. Raikou does have 3 Triforces, numbers 1, 2, and 3, but he's still lacking the ladder. He knows where 5 is, but I think he's still trying to explore at this point, trying to either find another dungeon or 2 or be able to get through, although now he should easily be able to handle that Gliok in level 8 if he decides to go back there and try to look through that. But again, he doesn't know whether he's going to need the ladder in that level or if he'll be blocked on that.
As far as the items are concerned, right now, as far as key items are concerned, Aweglib has the ladder and the silver arrow. RaikouRider has the bow, the silver arrow, but not the ladder. And also, the recorder, as you noted before, level 3 is Dig Dogger blocked.
Correct. So you do require getting the recorder in this seed, and unfortunately, it's in level 2, which I feel like Glib is going to probably save till the very end.
Glib taking his frustrations about using the raft to find that. Poor Moblin.
And so I think Raikou again is still searching, I think, for levels. Well, he's found, I think, most of the levels. I'm not sure if there's...
Yeah, he just found 9 just a few moments ago. So he knows where that is.
He's actually found all the levels, so in reality, he's really hunting at this point for the white sword, I think, because we've seen him at least stick his head in 8. He stuck his head in 3. Well, clearly he's got Triforces 1, 2, and 3. He went into 5 early. Both of them have been there. And I'm pretty sure he's seen 7 and 6, so I think he's actually seen all the levels.
Right,
and yes, he's now looks like he's heading towards 8 right now. That's what I think he's doing.
That sounds like a good plan. RaikouRider now searching through the graveyard.
On the other side here, Glib is coming through. He's got his 5 hearts. Is he going to go back? He's not going back into level 2. It looks like he's going to try to explore Death Mountain a little bit more. Again, I don't know if he's...
No,
he's
heading towards the
4. He has the ladder.
waterfall.
He has the ladder. Of course he's going back to 4. That makes perfect sense. I didn't even think of that. He has the ladder. He was blocked on that. He knows, in addition to finding an item in there, he knows that the heart container was in the Chevy room, so he's guaranteed another heart just by walking into that room.
And that, of course, would make him guaranteed, should he find the white sword, that would make him guaranteed for the white sword.
Yes, technically, right now, he would only have a 2/3 chance. Again, I'm pretty sure, based on the maps, I think both people have actually seen all 9 levels. I'd have to double check very quickly to see how things are going there. But so those folks interested, the other race that's going on right now, Bresticle against Crimson Avix, going on right now at Jam Eviler's stream, that both the competitors are in level 9, so it is actually an incredibly close race there, just about at the hour mark.
Good. This one's going to come down to the wire. Kind of exciting, like last night's error race.
Oh yeah, no, that was a crazy race last night where we had the losing player get the second fastest time in the tournament. So what you're seeing here, you're noticing Glib doing in this level. Level 4 only has 2 rooms where you actually have to kill things to get a drop off the floor. So you're seeing him not skip through some of these rooms, especially with blue dark nuts, because he knows he doesn't have to actually kill them. He is killing the Gyptos here because the Gyptos have a tendency to drop bombs. They're part of the bomb dropping group, so he's going to try to kill them. So
unfortunately, he's not. Fortunately, he's not going to get one because he gets the clock. If you get the clock, you know you're at 3 on the global counter. And on the global counter, the bombs are 1, 6, and 8. RaikouRider, suffering a death.
It's a little bit nasty, although I think he'll take advantage of this
he
now.
got the white sword.
He did?
Got the white sword.
He probably up 8 then after that. So now he's got double the offense with the white sword. It allows him, causes 2 hit points of damage as opposed to the normal 1. And that will considerably make a lot of these levels easier for him as he's going through them. He doesn't need to go to level 2 anymore. He does know that, but he's got a bunch of other levels he can potentially clear. And Glib is now going to try to kill these orange dark nuts. They have the potential of also being as part of the bomb dropping group. So he needs bombs, I think, in order to be able to continue the level. It's an unfortunate thing about level 4. It has a tendency to be bomb blocked on a regular basis.
And what a tough place it is to be with no bombs. Raikou's back in 1.
He doesn't know what he's missing, but he knows he's missing a floor drop item from level 1. So he's got to go clear and try to find where that other item was. He's also looking for bombs, so why he's killing the Gyptos, just like Glib's been doing.
Knocking out the Gyptos in 4 hits as opposed to 7 with the wood sword is a lot easier.
Oh, definitely. Right, and Glib's striking out, unfortunately, on the bomb. Oh, no, he does have bombs.
He did get a drop.
Ignore me. I apparently am blind. And he could actually get more out of this room if he can kill the Dodongos here. If they'll cooperate,
the Dodongos, you gotta get them on a half tile, or stun them with a bomb, wait for the explosion, and lay down another bomb like he just did.
The 2-bomb method is definitely the easiest way to kill the Dodongos, but sometimes you may need to use some of the other ones. Glib grabbing, he already had that heart, so now he's going to use the bombs to be able to try to advance further through the level.
And he does use the bombs, makes his way northward. We haven't seen the item in 4 yet, so we don't have an idea of what he's going to find here. Because
there's
remember,
a couple of items still he'd love to find at this point.
Yep.
There's some items he's hoping for.
Yep. We know he's not going to find those, but there's still a possibility he could find something like the magical key, or maybe perhaps the red ring.
Those are the 2 items that would be the best that he could potentially find. If you find the red ring or even the magical key, I mean, they're both in decent shape on keys, especially at this point in the run. They'd love to have more before entering 9, but again, they're in decent shape. And Glib's in one of those rooms I was talking about earlier where technically he is not required to actually kill all the enemies in it because this room will not have a drop in level 4, but it gets him some hearts. I think that's what he was trying to farm
some
for.
hearts, and I think trying to get some more bombs as well, because now he's up to 8.
Yeah, which is great to have those bombs.
Yep, because you never know when you're going to be in a dungeon and you're going to need them. It's a real bad feeling running out of bombs in the middle of a dungeon.
Oh, completely agreed. Oh, that's a nasty room to walk into with the traps and the Goma and that Goma room to be able to get through. Ooh, die please.
Yep. He finally gets through,
Now he's
and the
discovered
Triforce is in the lake
Triforce.
room.
Now, if I'm him, he's gonna do what I would do. Is he's gonna clip through. Since we've seen he
He's
knows
gonna
how
try
to
to
clip.
clip through, see if the room. Yep.
He's
We
limited.
did see him clip.
Yeah, he can definitely do the clips. The thing is, we know there's only I think like 3 rooms left potentially that could hold the items. So it's a really good idea for him to try to go through here.
So he continues to try to get this clip.
Clip, again, for those of you who haven't seen, the clip is actually
There
a
it
very
is.
tough clip to do. It requires, again, pixel perfect positioning.
And he gets into a double block room, but this has a shuttered door, so this is not going to be the one he's looking for.
Alright, and he's on half a heart, so he's actually in a little bit of a danger here.
He gets bopped once by those red dart nuts, he will be going back to start. Now, luckily for these red dart nuts, they also, like 3 out of 10 chance, if they random drop, they drop a heart, just like there.
Good thing he got that in the end. So
Yep.
actually, he should head left here because he hasn't explored
And he
that
is.
room. Which is
He
good.
is,
And
and
this
there's
is going
the
to be the
other
item
double
room.
block room. Yep. Now, for those of you who are not used to the level 4's design, there are 2 rooms that have the double block. If the one has a shuttered door, it does not contain the item. The one, there are no shuttered doors, will contain an item. And in this case, have a heart.
That's not a bad pickup for him. Again, we know that he's already wants that for white sword purposes. At least he's already covered on that. But he's going to need the magical sword eventually, and that will not be a bad thing to try to help him potentially pick that up before he enters level 9.
And in addition to that, it also gives him another heart to play with as he tries to make his way through this final room once again.
Great. And now, Raikou is now exploring level 5, so trying to kill all the wall masters there to potentially go through. Oh no, he's actually in 7. My
No, he's in
apologies, I'm getting all my colors
Yeah.
confused.
Well, that's what happens when they're all nearly the same color.
Again, for those who aren't aware, one of the things that happens in Randomizer, one of the options that you can set is to basically change the dungeon palettes to a bunch of different palettes, including some of the frozen, like ice ones. There's sometimes a fire, a couple of fire or
There's
shadow palace type ones. It's really nice ones, I'll say.
every now and then you get Pepto-Bismol, though.
Yeah, it's once in a while. Anyway, Raikou is now exploring, as I said earlier. Level 7 has 33 rooms, and about 10 rooms in, he finds the Triforce. So Raikou now has the Triforce for level 7 as well.
And level 7 is one of those ones you don't want to find yourself too deep in. Now, he's got the bow, he's got the silver arrow. There's a chance that it might have the ladder, but would you go back in trying to search for it?
No way. Again, with the size of that dungeon, the fact that you're going blindly through, he has 4 Triforces. He's got 1, 2, 3, and 7. So he can get back to this dungeon later if he needs to, because he has the recorder. What he needs to be doing right now, again, he knows level 4 is blocked. So at this point, again, he knows where all the levels are. You're either going to play for level 8, or you're going to play for level 5, or possibly 6, I'd say at this point. You got to try one of those 3. And
Now
eight's the smartest play.
We've seen all of the 5 items that cannot be a 9 already. We've seen the bow, we've seen the recorder, we've seen the power bracelet, the ladder, and the raft. What have we not seen? We haven't seen the red ring, we haven't seen the magical key. I don't think we've seen red candle either, right?
No, we have not. We've not seen those. We haven't seen the wand either, or the book, or any of the boomerangs, I believe. So we still have a large number of items that could be there. And of course, having like a red ring and 9 is going to be really inconvenient for these runners because, then you're going to go through the game on the silver, or on the blue ring, and that's going to be even harder to migrate because again, you're taking less damage.
That's correct. RaikouRider now going into 8. He is going to deal with this lovely little beast called the two-headed Gliok. Blue ring, 9 hearts, white sword, no problem. Takes a few bombs, but he gets him done.
And we find out whether or not the killing that Gliok was in fact required.
Yes, it was, as he goes into the room with the rupees, and he clears out the hardest boss in the game to find 5 rupees.
He's going to actually make sure he shoots this Goma, for example, because there's a chance that this room has a drop in it. Some of the rooms of that background in level 9 and level 8. Oh, okay. Well, he has found the Triforce now, and he's going to be forced to take the Triforce in level 8 here in order to advance, unless he wants to do a ladder clip around that room. You can potentially navigate around that room. He can't even get it because he's ladder blocked. So he can't do it. We know that Glib will be able to handle that when he comes back there. And with his ladder clipping
finds the
capabilities...
sword.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Really help his combat, I believe. It's considerably.
It's in the far western part of Hyrule. So all the way out in the corner. In the boonies.
Right in the middle of nowhere. You'd almost say it's in the middle of nowhere, like the Adirondacks or something, but I wouldn't quite say that, would I?
Yeah, it's not in the middle of civilization like Rhode Island.
Good point. Well played.
Thank you very much, sir. Now
Glib
he's
wants
fighting
that
to try to
fairy
get... Yes, he does. And no, he doesn't get it. It disappears just before it comes up to him. And now the old man laughs at him.
Oh,
that was great timing, though.
Absolutely. Now, Raiku's coming back. He's in 6 now. Again, he's running out of options here as to where the ladder can be. He knows it can't be in 8. He knows it can't be in 4. He's already seen 1, 2, and 3. So now it's either 5, 6, or 7. So he's going 6 right now, where, again, probably one of the easier guesses for him as to where it's going to be. 5 has a couple of river rooms in it, so it can also be ladder block. So he doesn't know the ladder's in 5, but 6 is not a bad guess since he has to try to get the Triforce out of it anyway. And then it's not too short. It's not a long walk.
Glib now heading back in to aid himself. He's going to be able to explore this a little bit further because he's got the ladder.
He can definitely explore this further. He won't be able to kill any of the Gomas because he has not yet found that bow that was in level 3. He will, again, have to navigate and dance around some of the Gomas. That'll actually make that Chevy room coming up here in a second a little bit tough on him because, well, he'll probably just grab the Triforce and then come back in. Or is he going to try to... Nope, he's going to just take the Triforce.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to get around that.
You can do it with a Goma shooting fireballs at you, and the fact that, again, you have to get just the right pixel and then clip without the Goma hitting you. Completely good choice on his part to do it that way.
Now, RaikouRider finding out one of the trolliest things about level 6. There's several double block rooms, and sometimes the one you find is not the double block you're looking for.
Actually, he's already found it. He came out of a double block. Went through the staircase, so he's actually looking for the side staircase, essentially. He's not looking for the for that one thing.
May just well have forgotten that fact when he was trying to push the block just a moment ago.
Certainly possible.
Blue dark nuts, no problem. Just walk around them.
Yeah, that room was not required.
Just walk around it.
Now, it's possible that Glib will be bow blocked from part of the dungeon. We know there's nothing in this dungeon he actually needs to beat the seed, but we don't know what he's going to actually need to do to. We don't know what items are in here. He may find a very useful item. At this point, he would love to find the magic key. I think the red ring would be really great too, but the magic key, I think, is the most important piece.
He's looking at his inventory. By the way, I've been told by people that the magic boomerang was in 1, in which RaikouRider does have in his inventory.
Okay, so that works out. So that reduces the total number of rooms that we could potentially be, or items that are left here. And Glib getting shut out. The old man has fortified the walls of his room to prevent people from bombing him.
I like his 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2 on his count right now, though.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really good count.
It's going to get wrecked with his key usage, but hey, it was cute. It was nice looking for a moment.
And actually, this is a proof that that one Goma was not actually blocking anything here.
Getting butchered by some bunnies here as he's trying to line up a block clip, but the bunnies are just finding none of that.
I think Raikou may not have taken notes here because he's back in level 4, but he still doesn't have the ladder. So he's not going to make any more progress.
He's going to find that out. he's going to find that out in about 15-20 seconds, and he'll be not a happy camper. Aweglib coming in. He's going to find the stairs.
It's kind of the annoying thing to find in level 8. I mean, you have a 50-50 chance of the stairs being there.
But now you've eliminated the possibilities. Yep. And he does find a key for his efforts. So
and
now
level
he
8
knows...
can be cut off. Not always, but it can be cut off. Ooh.
Now you know that level 8 at this moment, you're looking for a diamond staircase and a spiral staircase.
Right. Spiral staircase will also have an item in it, something dropped on the floor.
And just a quick note to Feasel, the clock on the top of the display is cut off. It's only doing the minutes and seconds. But everyone give Feasel a big round of applause for helping us out with this tournament.
Absolutely. He's been a phenomenal help here. It's a tournament of this magnitude, unfortunately, we have a lot of races going on, which is absolutely awesome to handle, and this entire community has pitched in very well to really help out. So thanks to Feasel for helping us out with this today.
For giving up his time to help us out with this, that's definitely something I think we got to give him a lot of kudos for. Meanwhile, bunnies are blocking the item. He does get through, and he will find the book. Now he goes down and takes care of one key, but unfortunately he backs off from getting it. Sorry, Lizzie. And then the bunny swats him for good measure.
Now, at this point, again, we don't know if Glib doesn't know where everything is. He does know he's recorder blocked out of 3. He does know he's going to need the bow eventually. Looks like Raikou is about to find the item in level 7.
In 7.
And he will grab it. It gives him a little bit extra firepower, pun intended, to be able to shoot some of the enemies that are wandering around dungeons. Won't work on everything, but it'll certainly help out a little bit.
So RaikouRider now leaving with the item in 7. What does he still have to find the items for?
He still needs 5, 6, and at this point it's either 5 or 6 is where the ladder's going to be. He doesn't know which of the 2 it is, because he didn't actually find the item in 6. But he knows it can't be an 8 because that's ladder blocked. 8 and 4 are both ladder blocks. So at this point, he pretty much has to go back to 5. That's not really an option here. I'm gonna guess, as I said, maybe in his exploration of 6 that he just ran into some issues there. But at this point, he needs to find. He needs to go back to 5.
Aweglib still searching through 8 because remember, both of these runners are looking for one particular thing that the other knows where it is. In Aweglib's case, he's looking for 2 items.
Unfortunately, he doesn't know he has to go back to level 2 to get the item that he really wants. Unfortunately,
because the item that he really, really wants is buried in a dungeon that is blocked by the item that's in 2.
Yes. It's part of the fun of the randomizer.
Oh, absolutely. He'll find the second item, and at least this is going to help him out. It's the red ring. So his now half damage down to a quarter damage, thanks to that thing that turns him red.
But that guarantees you that the wood boomerang and the magical key are in level 9 point. So this is actually a little precarious for Glib because he unfortunately does not have a lot of keys right now.
That's correct. He's got 2, but he is going to have to go back into some dungeons, maybe in his search for 2. By the way, Raikou just found the ladder.
Finding the ladder, which was the one piece that he needed to really be able to complete the rest of the dungeons that he's working on. So now he's actually going to be able to start basically doing mop-up work on a lot of these dungeons, going back in. He has the advantage that he doesn't strictly have to explore some of the levels like 8. Once he finds that Triforce, he could grab that Triforce and leave at this point without having to worry about things, because he knows he has everything except the raft, and the raft is the coast item. So he technically does not need another item.
And he knows that the raft is not required. Now, he does have 10 hearts. So he does have a potential for getting the magical sword if he does come along it at some point in time.
Well,
Aweglib,
they're both going to take the courtesy check before entering level 9 because it's adjacent to level 9. So they're going to try
absolutely. As long as you have that amount of hearts that you need, which is between 10 and 14. Aweglib finds himself in 1. Now, by the looks of things, this is his first time in 1.
Yep, he is not. He actually didn't explore the coast, so he didn't really find level 1. He went through the forest and ended up taking a different path through. He's going to find the Triforce here in this next room. He's probably actually going to. He should actually. Interesting. He's going to take the Triforce there.
He's going to take it for the full health. Fill up.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
Continue through the search of this dungeon, because he would love to find that bow. He would love to find that recorder.
Oh, and Raikou, unfortunately, is discovering the fact that I think he probably either need to use his last key or bomb to get into the Triforce room. Let's see what that room is. Oh, no, it's an open door. Never mind. Not as worrisome as it sounded like when I first
he was
said that.
trying to search. I think he was in that room. He saw the enemies there. I think he was trying to search for a few more keys, considering the fact that he was down to 1. But didn't find any in the 4 rooms that he searched up, and we'll just grab the Triforce now and get out.
Well, he also is out of bombs, so he can't explore any further. I'm stuck on that.
That's true as well. Glib now.
Glib, meanwhile, searching through, killing a whole bunch of dark nuts there. Got a couple off the bomb. Dark nuts you always have to be careful with when you drop the bombs, because of the fact that basically when you drop the bomb, it's kind of like holding the sword out, and if it hits their shield, they'll block it. Glib, it's good for him to actually clear these rooms in level 1, because level 1 is pretty key heavy, so he should be able to pick up a few keys.
Aweglib is checking the power bracelet slot. He finds
a Raikou, rather.
Something he doesn't need anymore.
Technically, we don't know for certain. That did have a bait in there. There is the small chance that Ganon or Zelda could be blocked by the bait in level 9. Not that you would be familiar with that at all.
Oh, that's right. He's going back into 4 now that he's got the ladder.
Exactly.
So he's going to clear this out, and as you said, it's time to mop up. Aweglib now searching through this dungeon, trying to find where the staircase is. Gets the hint about an enemy that he has already faced, or rather a dungeon he's already faced, the Dango dwells from the river.
And the thing that stinks for him is that he walked away, well, may stink or not, is since he's probably dedicated to full clearing this dungeon, that one room up where the bow normally is amazingly not randomized. It still happens to be the diamond staircase. So he is missing the item from this dungeon because of, right now, one of those 2 items because of that.
Raikou grabbing another heart container that puts him at 11. That gives him a 40% chance for magical sword when he gets to that point.
Exactly. So he's, at this point, as I said, any of these guys, if they get at least 10 hearts, are going to try when they go into level 9, because it's right there. It's a one-screen commitment for a potential significant improvement in your weaponry.
Goodness. And our chat has gone back to rope references.
Amazing. Okay, so Glib discovering the magical boomerang is one of the 2 items, immediately going away. The boomerang does have its uses, but especially in the later portions of the game, those uses drop, especially when you enter level 9. Level 9 has Wizrobes as one of the main enemies, and Wizrobes can't be stunned by boomerang.
In addition to that, it also makes the Graias a little worse.
It's actually just a graphical difference. There is no change to them aside from the graphical.
Well, they're a little meaner. They hate the fact that you're copycatting them.
That part's true. They're kind of protective of their boomerang.
As they now finally decides, I'm going to have to burn that key. Now, this is going to be very interesting for both of our runners. You mentioned this just a few moments ago. Keys are going to be a big issue for both of our runners as we're reaching the later stages of this dungeon, of this tournament race.
Yes, Glib was again. He actually was being really careful here in 1. He only used keys when he had to, which is what you need to do.
And then
for
he found out that he had to, and he will find the power bracelet, and
again he'll
it's
grab
not
it for the
needed in this seed.
purposes. But again, he still hasn't found the letter even. So there is a reason for him to grab it. I'm not sure of the confidence that Raikou and Glib have for being able to beat the seed, without a letter.
That is correct.
Glib has the advantage right now on the fact that he has the red rings, so those 8 hearts that it looks like he has are essentially 32 hearts. Raikou seems to have 11 hearts, so it's essentially like 22 hearts with the fact that he has the ring. But
and
again,
those 22 hearts, those 22 hearts can still go by fast when you're dealing with those great old Wizrobes.
Yeah.
He grabs the heart in 4, that now puts him at 12, and that now gives him a 60% chance for Magical Sword. Aweglib is back in 7 by the looks of things. Oh no, he's back in 2, isn't he?
No, this is 7.
Oh no, this is 7. Yep.
Yep, he's got.
They're all blending.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to keep track of them. He'll probably go back to 2 later. At this point, he's pretty close to where the Triforce is. I believe the Triforce was 1 room to his right, although I think he had to go up right down to get to it, if I remember the levels correctly, or at least that's the path that Raikou took. It's possible he could just bomb directly right. I'm not really sure about that. But
this is
a really tough position for him, because he would love to just, leave this dungeon right now. He would love to, get the Triforce, but at the same time, he's still missing Recorder and Bow.
Yep, and there's still the possibility in his eyes that those could be in this dungeon. And as you mentioned before, but this is not the dungeon you want to be heavily searching.
No, you can potentially lose keys, and on top of that, it's just a tough dungeon. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna do what I would probably do in his situation. You have these 2 rooms over here that cost you little time to go check, but potentially could be a lot more of an impact coming back later. Don't up A. Okay, he's looking for he needs to find the item, is what he's deciding. So he's not going to even take that Triforce. He's going to take the up A, and he's going to find the item before he grabs the Triforce. He now knows where it is. It's not a bad walk to get to, but he's decided he does desperately need the item, which makes sense. It's not the level you want to really be exploring, but
and we find the Grumble.
Okay, good to know. So the Grumble's in there, so the bait will not be required in this seed at all. Sorry, Rick.
Unless you head down that wonderful path where you go downward and find yourself now having to take care of him or up an A.
That's true. That's true. I just realized I don't know if we've seen the item in 6, so there is the chance that 6 will have that 6 could have the magical key, for example. Because we're still missing Wand, Wooden Boomerang, and...
Yep, 3 items we're missing, and if that is the item in 6, that would be very huge for RaikouRider at this moment.
It'll be huge for both of them. I would not be... With 6 and 2 adjacent to each other, and 2... being known to have Wizrobes in, and Glib not having spent much time in 6, his smarter play is to go right into 6 and ignore level 2. So I would not be surprised at all to see, if the magical key is there, that will be a game changer for both of them. For those watching, Raikou has this slight edge right now because he has 6 Triforce pieces. He's hunting for Triforce piece number 7 here in level 6. And then we know already that he can get the Triforce in 8 very quickly. Decides to when he goes back there. We don't know if he'll go for any of the items in there or not. At this point, he doesn't technically.
Part of the major advantage for RaikouRider is the fact that he's got the bow and the silver arrow and the ladder, and of course the recorder, which we found out was required this seed.
Yeah, and Glib is still hunting for that. For that red candle, or what we know is the red candle. It's somewhere around, I think, the neck of the demon there. That 2-room row in about 4 rows up. Interestingly, we still haven't seen any bomb upgrades yet out of these dungeons. We find pretty funny that we haven't run into them yet, but I think either of these runners would gladly take them, with the fact that they're sitting on 255 rupees if they do discover either of them. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one of them's here in 7, because again, it's a big dungeon. Not that, we didn't see Raikou really do much exploration in here. He explored for a few rooms. He found the item and the Triforce, and then got out.
And they're very well possible that they could end up in the same dungeon.
Absolutely, especially with the way that this game goes. You don't know where things are. Okay, so
Meanwhile, RaikouRider now knows where the Triforce in 6 is.
He's still
And
hunting
also,
and finding
he found the item. And the item in 6 turns out to be... Oh, this is huge for him.
This is definitely a huge advantage for him. The only thing that will stop him now is if there are bomb blocks in level 9. And, with the 8 bombs that he has, that's really the only thing that could potentially stop him. Glib, on the other hand, is exploring as best as he can in 7, but in his mind at this point, this is actually something he probably thinks he has to do, because he doesn't know where it is, and again, that recorder, he's kind of desperate for that at this point. I still would have been a little tough to do this. I still probably would have been going for level 2 or 6 or one of the other ones right now, but again, that's just, I've been bitten on that just as much, so don't really know what the best strategy is here.
For those tuning in, we do know, because we see it on Raikou's end, the recorder was the loose item in 2. You needed that to get past the Dig Dogger in 3, which held in its chambers the bow.
Oh wow, that is a tough room. Raikou you have to go through in 6 to get the Triforce. I don't know if there's an entrance from the south or not. There may be an entrance from the south, and if so, that room might be slightly easier, but wow, that was a nasty looking room.
Glib now
grabbing the Triforce.
He's casting in his chips, taking his losses. He's going to grab the Triforce in 7 and move on.
Which again, I mean, if you were already there, it's worth checking.
Absolutely. The wise idea, as you mentioned before, is to go to 2, because you never got that item. It's got Wiz Robes, but you've got Red Tunic right now.
Actually, and he's going to walk by 6, so since he hasn't cleared 6, he should probably just go into 6 and do that one first, and then when that happens, go check out 2. It's probably the easiest way to go about this.
And there will be a way into that from the south. He's just got to take care of this Manhandler. But he's got a half a heart, which is going to be very, very dangerous for this next room that's got the Triforce.
Reed, that is not a room you want to go into. Oof.
And he takes the immediate death, which is probably just a mercy kill at this moment, because I'll get him back to the start with 3 hearts, and you don't have to deal with that Manhandler anymore.
And actually, both competitors are actually in the same dungeon at this point. Glib is now actually heading through the Manhandler room himself right now.
Here's the main thing with Aweglib. He's going to probably, even if he finds the Triforce in that Gliok room, he's still going to search for it.
He better search for it. Well, he's going to be... Well, he won't be forced to take it, because... Well, actually, from where he's going to be when he kills the Gliok, he'll probably... Oh, no, he's actually on the ladder. Never mind. Oh, no.
And he will end up grabbing the Triforce.
Triforce
on top of him.
He's coming right back in here. There's not really an...
No, he is not... Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Okay.
It's the funky spawn from level 6 when you beat level 6 and get the spawn coming, or that spot northeast of level 1. That spot
you don't know that you're gonna...
Yeah, you spawn on the very right of the screen, and most other screens, when you spawn in the middle of the screen, and so you hold right by default, so...
Raikou taking
through here.
Oh my goodness, the suicide squeeze. He ends up doing it, pulls it off, and gets his health filled up to the fullest. RaikouRider, how many Triforces does he have now?
He is at 7 Triforce.
7, right?
The only one he's missing is level 8, and that one again was there's a Goma block, but it's actually not a block. There's a Goma in the room. It was the Chevy room. So he'll go back to 8. He'll basically be able to walk in. He'll be able to have that Triforce within 30 seconds of walking into level 8.
And the question is would he continue to go through there and try to get the items? Probably not.
At this point, there's nothing left he needs.
That's correct. Probably not at this point, because of the fact that you already got 12 hearts. You've got blue ring, yeah, but you've got magical key. You've got all the required items that you need for 9. And where is he going?
That's a good question. The screen maybe that he didn't block. He might be hunting for letter too. We don't know. We still haven't seen a letter, I think, up to this point for any of the competitors. So he might think that he needs a potion to be able to handle level 9. And since he only had 1 or 2 spots left here on Death Mountain that were semi-easy to hit, he probably was hitting that on the way to getting the letter, trying to get the letter before.
That's very, very possible. Glib now 1 room away from where he needs to be. Tries bottom to the left, but there is no room.
That's can be really tough to tell when you're on when you don't have the mini map up there. One of the downsides is we hide that as part of your exploration, and so you don't know where the rooms are going to be. Glib does not even know officially which room he's looking for, whether he's looking for the single. Well, he knows the single block, I think, is not the case because I think here earlier. So he probably knows he's looking for that right staircase room.
Meanwhile, RaikouRider now grabs the Triforce.
Yeah, I think he was actually
avoids a couple of hits from the Goma, but
I wonder if he was half considering
to go back in.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was half considering trying to do a clip or something, but
he's going back in.
Interesting. Meanwhile, Glib unfortunately doing the dance around that Triforce room because he didn't want to blow the key to go into it, and he didn't try bombing from the other side. So.
And when you say Triforce room, you mean the
That's
item
right, the item room.
But...
Yes, good catch.
He finds a hint, looks at his map, and he's going to continue to search this dungeon out. Not knowing that middle part of that map, that one room that's missing, is the room he actually wanted to be in.
I was partially hoping, too, as he's clearing this, to try to get some keys, again, not knowing what he's about to find. But and the heart container's not bad, because, again, that gives him a chance now at the magical sword. And, I mean, he has 6 Triforces. He actually has 7 Triforces at this point. The only thing that he's missing is the Triforce from level 3, and he can't get in there without the recorder. So he desperately needs the item from this dungeon, or he thinks he might need this item from this dungeon because he doesn't know what's there.
And just replying to the chat, Bresticle, Raikou will not be trying the hoist of the magical sword until he gets ready to go into 9 because the magical sword is right next to level 9. So we'll see him make a play for the magical sword when he's done with level 8. I'm surprised he is still trying to search for the items, though.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about this. I think one of us will probably have to ask him about this during post-race chat. I'm just trying to figure out what he's looking for. I mean, maybe he's looking for a bomb upgrade?
That's also a possibility, too, because he does have 248 rupees.
I mean, he might also be hoping for Red Ring. Again, he doesn't have the potion. Let's not forget that. He doesn't have a potion. So, and we still have not seen where the letter is. At this point, you'd almost assume the letter is, at this point, I'd probably say the level 4 raft spot. It's got to be where the letter is, because I think we've checked almost every other cave on the map.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not sure of comfort level, and I'm wondering if having the red ring, he's hoping to find the red ring out here, which he will here in level 8, although he's going to have to dig very far to get it, and that might be what he needs.
Well, so this is interesting. We'll see what ends up happening.
Glib consulting the mini-map. He knows there's only a couple of rooms left now, because he's already been to the right there. So he knows, I think, where he has to try to go to.
I know he's really reluctant to use up that key, more because of the fact that he's got 4, and they could become a precious quantity come 9.
Agreed.
RaikouRider just barely taking care of that manhandler.
He still was able to pull it off, though. I mean, the manhandlers can definitely be tough. They're one of the most random enemies in the game.
Aweglib now finally using that key, sees the rupee boss that keeps him out of the room, and good news for him, bad news for him.
I mean, the any key, as it's often referred to as a huge gain. Now, as I said, hopefully he's going to head to level 2 right now. The hope would be since he's right here, go in and hopefully he'll find. The hope is that he'll end up going up and left right away.
At this point in time, you'd have to think. At this point in time, you'd have to think that by the deduction here, that the recorder would have to be here, and that
could be in 7.
The bow would have to be in 3.
He didn't find the item
get
in
the
7.
item in 7. That's right.
And so he's actually clearing this funky block room because he doesn't know. One of the 2 rooms in 2 that has that shape drops an item, 1 doesn't, so he doesn't know what was there. And now he's thinking he has to clear through a bunch of Wizros.
Yep, and as we know, it's on the very bottom left, but he doesn't know that he's going to try to search all of these rooms.
And again, it just merely comes down to the way that people clear. Again, part of the luck and randomizer. Raikou happened to, in the 2 rooms that he checked, looks like, will he be taking a slightly different path here now? He's a little reluctant to bomb with that 1 bomb.
To the left. There we go. There he goes. There he goes.
And gentlemen, this is about to become a race.
It is.
There's the bomb upgrade.
Well, so the bomb upgrade
that's
all the way in the
solid
top. The
bomb
8,
upgrade.
It's the full 6 bombs because in Randomizer, bomb upgrades are between 2 and 6.
And on top of this, so this is going to become very interesting because now Glib's going to run to 3. He's hopefully at this point, well, he doesn't know whether the thing's in 3 or 7.
RaikouRider just got the red ring.
And that's what he needed. Again, I don't know for certain. I don't know his play style, but
yep, he's upping and A-ing. He's done.
At this point, what you'd probably see him do is he's going to head over. He'll go to a fairy fountain to fill up on his health. As I said, if he's going to that fairy fountain down in the Dead Woods area, I won't be surprised at all to see him go try to sail across. Oh no, he doesn't have the raft, so no, he won't get the ladder, but he'll take 13
it's also
hearts
possible.
Into level 9.
Did he check? Well, he's not going to check it, but did he check earlier the recorder spot, the recorder lake?
I'm pretty sure he did. He found the recorder early, so I think I remember seeing him do that. But I don't actually. That's a good point. I don't think either of these competitors have checked the bottom left corner here.
Yes. Okay, so he's going to check the southwest corner now.
What are you doing here, Glib? You're getting some bombs because you're dead out of bombs.
That would be a good idea.
Even at 34 rupees apiece, highway robbery.
Well, 34 rupees a piece, highway robbery, but when you have 0, you don't have many options.
That's true. Alright, so I think this is basically a confirmation with what Raikou just discovered, the fact that the letter is going to be on the level 4 island. We don't know for certain, but it's pretty likely. Let's find out here, because Glib has the raft.
Confirmation. We might get that confirmation now, though. And Aweglib finds the piece of paper.
And the Riverman will hopefully be able to sell him potions at a exorbitant fee.
Okay,
meanwhile, so Raikou, I think, is now going to make the play for level 9.
Well, first he's going to make a play for something else.
Yes, a magical sword, hopefully. He's got an 80% chance, so unless this is a very unlucky seed, he will have full offense at least.
We're going to find out in due time if that 13 hearts is going to be good enough. He warps, doesn't take the right warp. We'll take the right warp in just a moment.
So I would fully expect him to try to make the play for the magical sword here. It's right next door.
You'd be a fool. You'd be a fool not to at this point. Aweglib now back into 3. Now that he's got the recorder, he can take care of the dig dogger that's blocking him for the rest of this dungeon. Okay, nope, that's right. It's the other cave, the open cave, that's got the magical sword.
Right.
So here's the question. 13 hearts. Is that enough? It is.
Nice kill of the dig dogger there by Glib. Again, he may find the Triforce, but he needs to get the bow out of this dungeon. And I think he realizes that he doesn't know that this is the bow necessarily, but he knows he needs the item out of it.
Well, what else does there possibly be that he didn't grab?
It's, again, level 7. Could be buried in 7,
right.
So he doesn't know that.
That's right.
So,
and by
right
the
now,
way,
RaikouRider just entered level 9. For those of you who haven't seen Randomizer before, there's going to be 2 things that Raikou's going to be looking through as he walks through the level. He's going to be keeping an ear out because in rooms that are next to Ganon, he will hear a roaring sound that will give you an indication that Ganon is there. And since he has to kill Ganon in order to be able to save Zelda, he wants to hear Ganon to be able to do that. On top of that, he's also going to be looking for any room that after he clears all the enemies, the shutter door stays closed. If he finds that room, then he knows Zelda is behind that shutter door. Once he kills Ganon and picks up the Triforce of Power, he will be guaranteed that he will be able to, when he comes back to that room, the door will open right away, even if there's enemies in the room. He'll be able to save Zelda.
So, being critical would listen up, and he's bombing to the left and right. I'm wondering if he did hear the roar. I think he did, because he now just left that room that has the passageway, and now he's trying to bomb to the left. So he heard Ganon's roar. He knows where Ganon is. He just can't get there.
He's got a part of the fun of hunting through on the randomizer here.
Oh,
there's actually
there
north.
it is.
So it's not a bad path to get to Ganon here in level 9.
And it's not a bad room either.
No, there can be some very, very tough rooms with rivers that you have to fight Ganon on. In this case, fortunately, Ganon at least is in a reasonably simple room. And he has successfely gotten the kill. Well, now he just needs to shoot him with the arrow.
There he goes.
So now Raikou has found the Triforce. Now he's just going to walk around, and he's ideally trying to find that room with a shutter door that opens as soon as he walks in.
That's correct, and now Aweglib now gets the bow. Just find the Triforce, get on out of here, and we can still have ourselves a race. Don't forget, level 9 is very, very rich with many passages of where you could go.
57 rooms, 14 staircases. It is a gigantic maze, incredibly hard to make through sometimes. It can be very easy. You can have cases where Zelda's right next to Ganon. You can have incredibly more complicated level 9s that will require one or multiple staircases to be able to get to where you need to go. So we will see how the level happens to go at this point. But right now, we're in the process of, Raikou's kind of in the driver's seat right now, but this still could be anyone's game, especially with the path that he had to take to get to Ganon.
That's correct. And as you're mentioning, you might need staircases. There's still that concept about a possible magical staircase.
Right, and for those who haven't heard the term before, we just referred to the concept of magical staircase as the staircase that you need to take in order to get to either Zelda or Ganon. It could be the only path is to take that staircase. So we don't know whether that's going to happen or not within this dungeon. And Raikou actually is in an interesting state here because he's down to a single bomb. So unless he's able to force some bombs in here somewhere, as he's stuck by the shoot room, he could be potentially in trouble. Glib will make his way to 9. He has 4. Let's see. He has only 8 bombs, but
he's got a 40% chance for the magical sword. He's going to see him make a play for that as well. RaikouRider, what is he doing? I guess he's trying to consult his map to see where he needs to go. Yep.
Again, we don't know the shape of this level that much at this point. All you know is, again, what you've seen. Actually, he can kind of rule out, like the room below him, for example, cannot have Zelda, but it could potentially have a staircase.
Aweglib is going to visit a potion shop. 4863. So not a bad bargain for that red potion this game.
That is an incredibly useful hint RaikouRider has picked up. Now, again, we were mentioning earlier that one of the ways that you can find Zelda is to look for a shutter door that doesn't open. Well, another thing that you can potentially do is identify as Raikou finds the wand and is going to grab it.
Nice block clip. Nice block clip to get in there. However, finding an item.
I don't know if I would have grabbed that at this point, only because you have 186 silver arrows at your disposal. So, again, I'm not sure about that. But the one thing that he did discover was the fact that there was the hint.
Aweglib cannot get the magical sword at 11.
That's unfortunate, but as I said, from I've seen his play so far, I think a white sword. He's certainly capable of white. Oh, was that a? Okay, no. Unfortunately, that was not the Ganon room. Raikou came out of a staircase, and I saw a shutter door open. One of the things you're going to see.
Yeah, but it was only because of a cleared item or a cleared room, rather.
was cleared. But what you can see Raikou do is he got a hint a couple moments ago that like legs guard the compass. So any room where he sees the like legs, he's probably going to be clearing those rooms with the hopes of having the compass drop and identifying where he needs to go in order to get to Zelda.
Oh, shoot again.
Double shoot. So again, folks,
From the other end.
We're seeing an incredibly close race at this point. Raikou has the slight advantage because he does not know where he has defeated Ganon already. But at this point, still anyone's game considerably at this point, especially with the fact that Glib has a potion. So he can take a lot more damage and possibly get a lot further into the dungeon than Raikou
I think
may be able to.
I didn't see if he died or if he just up and aid, but he
just
went
up
back
aid.
to the start.
He up aid. He didn't like, I think, the path he was going on, and so he took the up A. We'll see.
Well, Link, start the reactor, save Hyrule. Not quite the hint you want to find, because there are 3 hints you can find in level 9.
Yeah, there are 3 hint men, and they range over 4 possible hints that they can give. Provide hints as to where the silver arrows are, whether they're in level 9 or not. So they'll tell you not only whether they're outside of level 9 or what quadrant in level 9 they're in. Find a hint that tells you what enemy guards the compass. Find a hint that tells you where Ganon is, and you can find a hint that tells you where Zelda is. Again, it won't be the exact room, but it'll at least give you a quadrant of the map. So it narrows things down a bit.
And it's very critical information, especially when you're trying to search the northeast and you find, the princess or the kidnapped lies in the southwestern chamber. You're not going to stick around the northeast all that much longer.
Agreed. Very nice clock for Raikou there, so he's able to finish clearing out the reverse C room to try to be able to get more information.
And speaking of the hints that we were just talking about, the silver to kill the beast lies elsewhere.
And both competitors know that the silver to kill the beast was laying on a random piece on the ground. You would think that Ganon would guard those arrows a little bit more closely.
Yeah, that's what happens when you guard them with Armos.
It's true. It's actually, again, with the hint that we saw earlier that Raikou picked up, this will actually be this room has potentially the chance of dropping the compass, allowing us to see where Zelda is. We don't know for certain if he'll be here, but there's high probability. Again, with our knowledge.
Leader, got it.
Okay.
Now he knows Zelda's 1 room away from him.
He wants to bomb in there, and he can't bomb in there. He still needs to kill Ganon, so he's going to have to find Ganon, which unfortunately for him, he doesn't know that Ganon's a lot closer to the center of the map there. But again, now he knows where he's going to have to go.
At this moment, Aweglib, either racer you can't really say has an advantage. Yeah, RaikouRider has defeated Ganon, but Aweglib now has the information that where Zelda is, plus 2 potions.
He's got the potions. On top of that, it's very interesting because
Raikou's leaving.
It doesn't seem like there's an easy way. He needs bombs. He's out of bombs. He desperately needs bombs. And this is looking more and more like that magical staircase type situation. It looks like this could be a very difficult 9 to explore to potentially get to Zelda. May not need a staircase necessarily, but it's a very complicated path that's looking.
This is still a race, guys. It doesn't matter what time somebody comes into 9. I know Lost Cards fan has called this the Great Equalizer, and this is one of the reasons why.
Absolutely. Glib trying to clear this room, hoping there's a bomb drop in here. It's a rupee drop instead.
I'm sorry. Take these 5 rupees instead.
So at this point, it's starting to look like you may have to take a staircase to get to Zelda. I mean, again, there's definitely possibilities of bomb drops, in the dungeon that we haven't quite seen, or that they haven't been able to do because they haven't had sufficient bombs to be able to do the bomb drops. But at this point, again, what we're looking for is Glib knows where Zelda is approximately. How to get there is a completely different story. Actually, interesting. Raikou returns and still has no bombs. I don't know if he had marked down where there was a bomb shop or not, but
he went to grab a health refill.
Yeah, that's incredibly value for him because again, he doesn't have a potion, so he has to retain all the health that he has. It is a little bit of a risk for him because every time he leaves the dungeon, then any room that he may have cleared will be completely respawned. So it's a little bit tough of a find. Glib is also bomb blocked at this point. This is going to be a case of the person who happens to find those bombs first. Or, in the case of Raikou, maybe taking the appropriate magic staircase. Now, okay, good. Raikou is clearing this room out because the orange whiz robes have a chance of dropping bombs.
Yep, and we find the Lord Banana, the wooden boomerang. He doesn't grab it, just pushes the block again and says nope.
And one cannot fault him for this. He is in level 9. He, again, at this point, he's looking at the timer saying, this is a truly difficult seed because, his opponent still hasn't finished, so he doesn't have the time to really waste on running to pick up an excess item if you avoid it. So,
absolutely. So, if you guys are just tuning in, RaikouRider has defeated Ganon. He is on the search for Zelda. Aweglib still trying to find where Ganon is, but knows where Zelda is, but just also doesn't know how to get to her.
We've got, as I said, this is a very close race here. It could go either way. Raikou has a slight advantage, I would say, if only because Raikou could potentially take the correct staircase and end up adjacent to Zelda, and therefore be able to win. Whereas Glib still has to find and kill Ganon, then find his way somehow to the spot where Zelda is.
I have to give RaikouRider a lot of credit for how he's trying to get through some of these Wizrobe block clips. Yeah, so a lot of credit to him.
Yeah, these block clips are tough enough as it is, and they're not end of the world to do, but it takes a lot of practice to get them in a normal room. And Wizrobe's moving around, you don't have much room for play, and he's doing an incredible job on these. Wizrobes
and bubbles.
Just as difficult, if not more difficult. Raikou's already been in that staircase because that was where the wand was. So
yep, as he finds an empty well, Aweglib finds bombs,
which is going to be really useful for him. I don't remember if bombs were required to actually get to Ganon, but it's looking more and more like he's going to need those bombs to get to Zelda. Oh boy.
And we find a Patra guarding some bombs in a lake room.
This is an incredibly tough room to fight Patra in the first place. I think there's a good reason that the designers never put Patras into a room, and yet you've got a crazy designer who decided to allow it.
Aweglib trying to late clip here. Would love to get that pack of bombs.
Incredibly useful for him. With where he is he hearing Ganon at this point? I'm trying to remember where. I didn't mark down where.
A couple of more rooms up to the north.
Oh, okay.
But he's got to be getting very close. And like I said, if he finds Ganon, he's got 2 potions to deal with. Oh, he might want to use one of them now. No, he doesn't! Oh, was robed. And back to the start he goes. No, you save those potions probably for the big fight, but I think at that point, you should try to use the potion because you don't want to lose all that progress. And now
it's tough. I mean, he wasn't too far into the level at that point. So,
but at this point in time, it looks like a minute here and a minute there could make up the difference between winning and losing.
Definitely true. And so, let's see here. He's going to again. Don't forget that he is also on white sword. So,
nice clock. He might have a chance for a bomb. He does get it. Finds a 5 rupee also to boot. Gives him 5 extra arrows to play with when he gets through this a little bit later on. And tries to bomb to the right. Doesn't find anything.
I believe now he's adjacent to Ganon. Now that we were...
Yep, that's right. That's the room that we had seen him before. Doesn't hear Ganon. Doesn't see Ganon. And now, does he go through the north door? Yes, he does. He's going to go up against Ganon with 4 hearts right now. Red tunic.
Now, Ganon, if he touches him with the body, will cost 1 heart of damage. I think Glib is at this point. This is where he's going to use his potion. It's going to take him 8 hits, and now he better use that potion. Please, please, please.
Yeah, he better. There we go. We pause it. Yes, you don't want to get Hyrule Driver out of this room. And once again, if he gets this Ganon killed, that means he has a piece of information that Raikou does not have.
And that's going to be huge for him to take that information. Now, the question is, I don't know how well the map is that he's been keeping us. He gets a nice stun lock there to finish off.
There we
Ganon.
go.
And so now, at this point, Glib knows the general vicinity where Zelda is. By general vicinity, I mean the exact room. He knows approximately what he has to do if he gets to that vicinity again, if he gets back there. And now he just needs to remember how he got to that corner of the map in the first place, take that same staircase to get him up there and bomb that area. Hope that he gets
Meanwhile,
lucky.
I've noticed something interesting with Raikou's map. He's only really searched all of the eastern part of level 9. He hasn't made it to the western end at all.
Well, I think the issue is that just by random chance on the shape we've been seeing up to this point, I think the western end is either requiring bombs to get there, or it's severely, staircase blocked. Because again,
he finds Ganon's chamber.
He's done a lot of bombing and hasn't really been able to do much. But he has now actually made it into the left half of it with only one heart, though. Unfortunately, he does not have a potion. So,
and he is still trying to find where Zelda is. He does not know where Zelda is. He knows that Lake guard the compass, but
we know that Lake is actually near the top of the map. So,
yep, right, 2 doors down from where Zelda is.
Now, this is a tough call for Raikou because he's down to a single bomb, and he knows somewhere along here is where Zelda is, but he doesn't know where that is exactly. So he's got to figure it out. And he used the last bomb. That was painful.
And it doesn't go, and you can tell his frustrations by as he hung on the wall long enough for the bubbles. Now he ends up back in the northern top area. Aweglib does.
And so that's going to help him out. This is actually this is quite the potential race here, because if
here we go, Raikou's on the left side now.
Unbeknownst to Raikou, if he just continues up this wall, he has the chance. I don't know whether or not he can walk straight up or not, but
there we go. So he gets a heart to at least help him out a little bit more. Aweglib might want to think about grabbing his potion. He's down to 2.5 hearts.
He's still got a little bit of time, though. I mean, the worst thing that'll happen to him is take one hit. So. Please.
He's now going to bomb to the north, and does he find anything there? Nope. He's going to bomb to the left, does Aweglib, and he finds an opening there. Could this be the way he's looking for? Hey, Patra, how you doing, buddy?
All right, let's see whether or not.
Oh, grab that potion because you're down to a heart. Yes, he does.
I would have waited on that potion until after the... Okay, never mind. That worked. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't actually a door opening before I would have taken that bomb, placed that bomb just to be sure.
He's heading up to the north, and he is going to go through the key door. Is this going to get him to the door that opens up?
It does.
Yes, it does, and Aweglib is going to move on in this tournament.
Fantastic.
What a level 9.
Finish. Aweglib getting an official SRL time there of 1 hour 52 10 seconds. Wow, that was insane. And I believe Raikou here is actually just, again, not knowing where he is, but he's in that room where you have to bomb north to Patra. Of course, the problem is he doesn't know where he needs to go.
As he's now making his way over towards the right. He probably around this moment knows what's going on as far as the race is concerned. And he gets knocked out. Well, that doesn't matter. He might find out via the IRC if he still got that up. But what a race. Let's have it up for Aweglib. Congratulations on your win.
Got Raikou now stepping out of level 9, hoping to be able to go find, I think, some bombs at this point, or actually probably just refill his health again. He'll head back to that step right near level, right near the waterfall,
congratulations
near
on your
the
win.
fairy lake, and he'll just take that to refill his health really quickly.
So
Got
congratulations,
Raikou now stepping out of
Aweglib.
level
What
9,
a race
hoping
this has
to,
been. First of all, I do want to give a lot of prompts to
hoping-
Feasel and Speedrunner, Speed Gaming for hosting this stream on a night when we needed a little bit of help because there was 5 races going on. Or 4 races, was it? Yeah, 4 races.
Actually, I thought it was 5 at one point, but I don't know whether it's changed. But either way, we've had a lot of races going on. We've had amazing Zelda action here tonight. There's still a couple more races coming up here in the very immediate future tonight. So everyone, feel free to stay tuned. We've got another race going on at Jam site right now for Putts against Pierpont. Winners
If you want to
bracket.
find out if you want to find out what's going on with the tournament, just go to challenge.org/Zelda Randomizer 1. And that way you can find out the current brackets as well as find out the current schedule of all the matches that are coming up.
They've got a really close race going on there with it's where that race we started soon, and it's a number 16 seed against number 17 seed. So that match is going to be a really good match, I think. So that'll definitely be one to tune into. Now back in level 9, Raikou is now wandering around again. He has nearly full hearts, and based on what we've seen his path here, it actually does turn out there's no magical staircase, if you will, quote unquote, needed. You can actually make it all the way to Zelda's room, even though he doesn't know this at this point. You can actually make it all the way to Zelda's room without taking a single staircase. It's just a very, very long path, apparently.
Yeah, you got to take a long road to get there. Just a tough road. But RaikouRider doing his best. Uses up his last bomb.
Just checking the map there, hoping to identify where he needs to go. One thing you're probably going to see him do here very soon is anytime he finds a room with orange wizrobes or vires, he's going to clear the room out, using that kill hopefully to try to find some bombs. Certain rooms here you could consider, bombing. Or not bombing, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't try to take care of that Patra to try to get some bombs, but he finds a room with fires, and...
The Patra room is a low probability, and it all depends on how comfortable you are at actually fighting Patras. Because if you're not comfortable fighting a Patra, it can be a really rough thing to clear those rooms.
That's very true. You have to check the staircase, and we'll see if that.
Now we did see a staircase close to. There we go. We'll put them right next to Patra, at least again, from what we saw earlier. Now, whether or not, again, we'd love to see him bomb north here because we know that that's the trick to actually get through to Zelda. But we'll see whether or not he actually does do that. He is killing this Patra. Level 9, the empty rooms have a decent chance of having a drop. Not always, but he's probably hoping to get something out of the room. He is going north. Awesome. This is good. He looks like he's taking the correct path now, and he should very shortly find again, he doesn't have the compass, but he will know on entering this room here that the locked door will open, and he now knows where Zelda is.
There it is.
And he successfully makes it through. And he finishes with a race time of 1:57.06 on SRL. So a phenomenal race.
So a difference
by these competitors.
Of all of 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Not bad. How about a nice round of applause for both of our runners? Give them a follow. Much, guys.
Definitely give these runners a follow. They've done some, fantastic play, especially on an incredibly difficult seed here. I mean, the sheer quantity of things that they had to do to be able to complete the seed, having to get the recorder out of a Wizrobe dungeon, then go into level 3 in order to get the bow, and again, having a couple of ladder blocks as well, with the ladder in 5 in a very funky 5, and that level 9 being an incredibly tough level 9. These competitors put up a great fight.
They did, and we saw this go back and forth throughout the entire race. Let's go ahead and talk to our runners. Congratulations, Aweglib, on your win.
Hey, thanks. That was a really seed.
That was very, very interesting. You needed to get the recorder to get yourself through 3, which held the bow. My goodness.
I went into 2 and I saw the Wizrobes, and like it was super early when I got there, and I immediately said to myself, you know what? There's gonna be something important in there, but I'm gonna leave anyways, and it bogged everything down. It was a kind of a you needed to go to one place to get another thing to do another place kind of seed.
That's actually one of the trolliest seeds I have ever played.
Same.
And I get the feeling the race was actually really close until the end.
Now,
it absolutely was.
Yeah.
it was, and as we were just saying, it went back and forth. Now, unbeknownst to Aweglib, you entered 9 probably a good 5 minutes behind RaikouRider, and you just came back to find the win. One key find for you was the compass.
Yeah, I never found the compass.
It was the room that was to the right of Zelda's room. You couldn't get there, but that was where it was located. I just happened to stumble upon it, and that really helped.
What actually threw me for a loop was that there was only one way to go after entering 9 instead of 2. Mm-hmm. So when that wall was blocked off, that was actually kind of a red herring that Zelda's room was right there, and I actually marked it that way on my tracker.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I know that's definitely happened to me before. So I was kind of thinking that way. I was just kind of hunting around for Ganon, and then finding the compass.
And then when really I actually found Ganon super duper early. So I thought when I saw that room was blocked off, I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be a really easy 9. And then it actually turned out to be a stupid 9.
All the way in the corner.
I also spent a lot of time kind of faffing around trying to find the ladder, because there were I want to say there were at least 3 dungeons that were ladder blocked. And
yeah, I think I found at one point I had 6 dungeons that were either ladder blocked, recorder blocked, or I think the other one was level 2. Was the only one that I there was a huge point where I was I don't know which dungeon to do because I didn't know which one I could do.
I actually had a huge issue with level 1 because in level 1 you might remember that 6 Dark Nut room that was the 6 blue Dark Nut room that was a drop room.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking that there might be a chance that the ladder was there, but then I kept on going through the end, and then I found the zombie banana there. And then
Zombie banana.
And then I was like, "Hey, cool! I don't have to find that, or I don't have to kill those dark nuts."
Yeah, level 1 was the last level I found. For some reason, I almost always, bomb those 3 rooms when I'm down there. I don't know if I just didn't have bombs the first time I was down there or what, but I never did, and I didn't figure out where it was until I found the hint in 2, and I thought, "Oh gosh, I never went back there." So that was one of the last places I was.
It's actually kind of interesting how people have different algorithms for solving Zelda Randomizer, and the algorithm that I use actually takes me by the coast pretty quickly.
Yeah, I kind of I go haphazardly. I really don't have a set. I kind of just look for an area that I haven't been and go there if I haven't found dungeons and whatnot.
Yeah, that was an insane. If any of you were actually watching me in my chat, I was swearing up a storm for most of the run. You know what? Aweglib, did you ever find the letter?
Yeah, actually, it was in the
level 4.
Yeah, level 4, the other raft spot. I
never
happened
found
upon
the
there
raft.
when I was
Where
going
was raft?
through.
Was raft ladder? Was raft ladder item?
Yeah, it was
it was
ladder
ladder coast item.
Wow, what a troll seed!
Yeah, it was.
It truly was. Now, how relieved were you to find the silver arrow early on, at least?
I was definitely relieved to find the silver arrow, but I was a little bit worried when I found it early because you know how these go, and it ended up being my worry was definitely valid because of how difficult finding the ladder was.
I was a little sad because I had just purchased regular arrows seconds before finding it, and then I was like, "Oh, well, there's 100 rupees down the drain." But
it was a pretty rich seed.
Good. Yeah, it was pretty good for money, so I wasn't too worried about it at that point. All the secrets are really good.
That's Murphy's Law at its best, though.
Yeah, for sure.
The any roads are some of the best I've ever seen.
Those were really great. I didn't find them for a while, but then once I did, they were really
I found
nice.
them pretty early on. One thing, like when I found the hint that the white sword was in Death Mountain, I kind of just rolled my eyes because the way I go about these, Death Mountain is the last place I go to. Just I try to avoid going to the upper right and upper left corners until I have more hearts, just because dying up there is really, really punishing.
Right, yeah.
Now, one of the things that we noticed very different about the two of you, RaikouRider entered 9 with a magical sword. However, Aweglib was unable to do so, but did enter with the 2 potions. And very big difference. Turned out maybe to be one of the biggest differences in this race.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I want to say that the reason why I lost this race is because I never found the letter.
Yeah, that I was really worried about, because I almost always need a potion in 9 in a randomizer.
Never ever go into 9 without a potion. But I figured that since I hadn't found it and I had been practically everywhere, and I think, let me actually check my log, because I think I might have, I passed up on one of the items in 8, and I figured there was a very real chance that could be the raft, and Seed never really gave me a good opportunity to see what the item at the coast was.
Yeah, the item on the coast was the raft, the other item in 8 was the book.
Okay.
Yeah, and once you hit the wood sword cave right there, the immediate reactions go try to find enemies. They'll drop bombs, try to kill them, and so checking the letter at that point, the ladder spot at that point is a little bit tough. So was that the reason you were checking level 8 there after you got the Triforce? I know that was the last Triforce you got, and we noticed you went right back in. Was that get the?
I went back in because I was mostly looking for the dungeon items, specifically the red ring, and I believe the red ring was in there.
Yes, that's where it was.
It was pretty deep in 8.
Yep, and how excited were you when you finally found that red ring?
When I found the red ring in 8, my thought was, okay, since I have the red ring, maybe I don't need a potion, and I can just go straight to 9, and then not end. When I went into 9 and saw when I saw the blocked off portion on top, I figured that's where Zelda was, and then I found Ganon right away, and I got really excited, thinking that, hey, maybe there's a chance I was going to win this race, because honestly, I was expecting to lose this race by at least 15 minutes.
Turned out to only be, as we mentioned, only about 4 minutes and 56 seconds, so a really, really close race between you two.
And I mean, even, taking that into account there, the fact that there was a point where you had the slight lead because you'd killed Ganon. Glib had the compass but was hunting for Ganon, and then even after that, we all knew where Zelda was at that point, and we were pretty sure it was going to be a difficult path to get to her, and it just came down to which of the two of you happened to get there first. So it was a phenomenal race to watch at that point, pretty much all the way through.
I definitely want to watch this race back, and Aweglib, I think we might actually be pretty even in terms of skill. So if you don't care, I'm actually going to friend you, and I would actually be up for doing some more races with you in the future, because I really feel we're an even skill level.
Yeah, I do some races with friends. We usually don't do it on SRL or anything, but yeah, for sure.
Because one thing that kind of I wasn't sure about entering this tournament was I'm not that good of a player.
I think tonight you proved pretty much that's not the case at all. I mean, the fact you went in there, you were able to get a quick Ganon kill. This was a incredibly tough seed, and for both of you to come in here and get sub 2 hour on that says you guys are definitely significant skill level at this point.
I would have to agree with what Fred had to say, and you guys showed off a lot of skills. I was really impressed, Raikou, with your block clip in a Wizrobe room with bubbles.
Well, I had to go for that because there was no way I was going to kill those guys in any feasible amount of time. I didn't I only have White Sword at that point?
No, I believe you had magical.
I think you had
That
magical
was a 9.
sword, but it was probably 3 hearts, from up A's, so you didn't really have a ton of health to go with. It was pretty much, make the block clip or die.
Exactly. So there was really no risk. There was no real risk to doing it. It was my only option at that point.
I
I
more or
was
less-
also I was also extremely worried when I wasn't seeing Wizrobe rooms in the other dungeons, and 9 ended up just being chock full of them.
Yeah, I think the only Wizrobe dungeon was 2, right?
Yeah, this was a
Yeah.
very Darknet heavy seed just from random chance. I mean, you're going to see typically, yeah, I think you're guaranteed to see, again, just speaking from what I think I remember programming into it, you're guaranteed 2 Guerrilla sets, 2 Darknet sets, 1 Wizrobe set, not counting level 9. So that's 5 of the 8, and the other 3 can be any combination of the others. And I think this one just ended up being a very heavy Darknet set.
Yeah, there
I'd
was a lot
rather
of
deal with
darkness.
the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say.
I'd rather deal with those than Wizrobes any day, though. Like if I
Yeah,
see
same.
Wizrobes in a dungeon, I usually get spooked out of it and try to go someplace else.
And you got lucky because you discovered, level 2. You went in, you discovered the Triforce. You discovered it was Wizrobe. You checked out one of the room. Get the record. You didn't have to go back. That was an incredibly fortuitous discovery part. You did a lot of time for that dungeon anyway.
I was very, very relieved when I went into 2, and then I found, like you said, when I found the item and the Triforce right away, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this place.
Yep. Wizrobes, goodbye.
Exactly.
Now, Raikou, unfortunately, your tournament time is done, but is there anything you want to say to Fred or any of the tournament organizers?
First of all, I have to say, Fred, you're a genius.
Thank you.
You're a genius for making this. And I would definitely be interested in entering another one of these. Just how I did in the tournament, it kind of blew my expectations away. And again, I'm looking very, very forward to watching this back on the VOD.
As I said, you ended up doing a great job. And as I said, I do believe we're going to be having another tournament at some point in the future. We'll see how this one turns out in the first place. I think we're thinking about possibly changing the format up a little bit. But again, those are just things we'll be talking about as things go on. So there'll definitely be different ways. And again, lots of different possibilities that you can do with the flags we can set on Randomizer for future races.
As long as it doesn't involve Second Quest.
I do want to ask, is there any suggestions you'd like to give to Fred or the tournament organizers?
I really like the way the tournament was run. If you want to be a little bit more friendly towards newer people, you might actually want to not have players hunt for the wood sword right away in the early rounds. Like maybe for the first couple of rounds, just leave the wood sword alone.
True. That's definitely a possibility for the future. It's a good thing to.
Like if you say if you have a 6-round tournament like this, you might want to have the first 2 rounds be with the wood sword in the cave at the start. That was actually one of the biggest hurdles for me to overcome with this, because I didn't realize what standards there were in the community, and I never shuffled the wood sword cave. I think what I ended up doing, the only difference that I have between the set that you guys chose and the set that I typically do on my channel is instead of shuffling the wood sword cave, I throw the white sword into the mix of items so you could potentially find it in a dungeon.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll see later on in the tournament. We have in the final 8 and on in the tournament, we do have a couple of extra flags that are checked. So the start cave will be relocated, which makes things very interesting. And part of the reason we removed that one was to make sure it was more friendly to the to players who may not have played Randomizer in the past. The white sword will also be shuffled, and a couple of other, I think, flags are set. Enemy hit points also being shuffled. So it's going to be a lot more randomness coming up in the future here.
Other than really just leaving the wood sword cave at the start, that's the only suggestion that I can make. Other than that, the tournament format was fantastic. I'm kind of sad to be tuning out, but there are going to be a lot of people in the tournament that are size.
Really do appreciate you joining this tournament. Thank you very much for coming on by. And don't give up Randomizer, just continue having fun with it.
That's the plan.
All right, RaikouRider. Aweglib, you're going to be moving on to face off against the number 39 seed RC Drone. Any thoughts heading into that matchup?
I was just gonna take a look here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably gonna come up to seed. I maybe have an outside chance in that one, but might be a good chance that'll be the end for me. I'm just gonna keep. I mean, it's weird. I was talking about this with a friend before I started, like 10, 15 minutes before. I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's really hard to practice this sort of thing. You just kind of have to do it. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna we'll get that next match set up and see what happens.
Great. That's again, you're right. It is very tough to practice this basic thing. Is just keep doing things. You were doing a lot of good play. I was noticing there were rooms that you were skipping clearing because you knew that there was no drop in that room. So that type of thing helps speed things up because you don't spend 30 seconds to a minute clearing a room that clear as things go on. And again, we're seeing good play. The fact that you're able to just, out of the blue, do some of the ladder clips that are really tough for some players. You seem to be able to hit some of those really quickly, especially, as I said, there were a couple of places, I think 9 and 5, where you did a couple of clips just to grab a key or two. And, it turned out really nice. So looking forward to seeing this. I played RC Drone last round, and it was a really tough matchup. So I think, you two are going to have a really good race. Looking forward to watching that one.
That's all I'm hoping for, just to have a good race.
And one more thing, I want to give a big shout out to Johan Howitzer. He made the tracker that I use, and hopefully he'll be releasing it soon. It's an absolutely fantastic tracker for new players. If you ask for it, he'll probably give it to you. Nice. If you haven't seen what I've been using, all the overworld blocks are color coded by what item you need to open them up. Like it has blue for bombs, green for open caves, orange for candles, and then in the dungeons, it actually gives you a list of all the drop rooms.
Nice.
It's an absolutely wonderful tracker. I'm gonna definitely talk to him to see if he can get that released soon, so it can get posted on the Zelda Randomizer website. Because I mean, I've seen Z Helper, and I actually think that this tracker might be better than Z Helper for newer players. For more experienced players, Z Helper is probably better, but this is just incredibly helpful for new players.
Very cool. Certainly be interested in putting that, making that available once people have. Once it's in good shape. So very nice.
Let's give one more big round of applause for our runners today, Aweglib and RaikouRider. Thank you guys for joining us, and what a great race.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.
If you're still interested in seeing more randomizer action this evening, you can feel free to check out Jam Eviler's stream. Currently on that stream, we have number 16 Pierpont Lemkin racing against number 17 Putz. They're about 20 minutes in. It's currently 2 Triforces to 1, but it's incredibly early, so really at this point anything can happen. So definitely feel free to check that out on this channel. I believe there's going to be a little bit of downtime, but coming up in, I want to say, probably about 80-90 minutes or so, or might be an hour from now. I'm not sure the exact timing. There will be
1 o'clock Eastern.
1 o'clock Eastern. So yeah, about 90 minutes from now, there will be a Super Metroid race as part of that tournament coming up on here. So if you're interested in the Super Metroid race, feel free to hang out and check that out as well.
How about you watch both? Because the randomizer race should be done. Watch both.
That's true.
And if you want to find out more of the matches and find a schedule, you can go to challenge.com/ZeldaRandomizer1. All right, I think we're done here, Fred.
I think so. So thank you again to everyone who's been watching. We definitely appreciate you hanging out here. We'll be having more races coming up in the future on various channels. Feel free to follow the runners to keep track of everything that's going on. Again, for myself, F. Coughlin, here with Adirondack Rick. Thank you guys all for watching, and have a good night.
Have a good night, and thank you for hosting us.
Now, what channel was this on again?
We're currently on twitch.tv/speedgaming, and we're going to be hosting twitch.tv/jameviler.
Good work, Fred.
Too, Rick. That was a really awesome race to call. Thank you for stepping in last second there.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to do something. I was expecting to enjoy a nice evening after last night and the randomizer last night. Oh, and the fun seat I had this evening that I played as practice.